We've been hearing some things. We've been hearing some things about several players on the Chicago Bulls that might be up on a trade docket. Now, a new name is going to be entered into the conversation. That is Lonzo Ball. It is being reported that the Chicago Bulls will be aggressively shopping Lonzo Ball ahead of the trade deadline. Y'all know we're going to talk about that, plus the matchup tonight versus the Raptors. But you already know you gotta hear the music first.
Cognac, gang.
Shy Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down on today's daily episode. If you tuned in with me today, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. And let's get right into the breaking news. So, according to Joe Cowley from Chicago Sun-Times, the Chicago Bulls are expected to aggressively shop Lonzo Ball. According to Joe Cowley, a source indicated that the Chicago Bulls' goal is to continue to aggressively shop Lonzo Ball, Nikola Vucevic, and Zach LaVine, as well as any other name that makes sense. That was their focus going into the season, and it remains their focus even while some solid moments of basketball have been played. And I will agree with it. You still got to continue to move on and move forward. I really and truly believe that the Chicago Bulls have not fully leaned into what their direction of choice is going to look like for the foreseeable future. Now, it is a number of things that you think about. It's another several things that you think about when it comes to Zach LaVine and his contract, Nikola Vucevic, his age and his contract. You talk about who brings value when you talk about Ayodo Sumu and Kobe White's contract. Is the only untouchable player right now Montes Buzelis? Do you include guys like a Julian Phillips in that, like a Dalen Terry in that? Do you go back and you reevaluate a Ayodo Sumu and a Kobe White? How are you currently feeling about Patrick Williams right now? You just gave Patrick Williams some money, 90 million, you know what I'm saying, over a span of years, and the injury's still piling up. And now he's coming off the bench just to kind of work himself back up into basketball shape. You know, so the Bulls are they really got a lot of tough choices right in front of them. Now I kind of expected that, you know what I'm saying, Lonzo Ball was probably going to be placed into some type of trade talk, but I'll be real with you. I did not anticipate it to be deemed or defined as the Chicago Bulls will be aggressively shopping them around. I would say that I would have thought that some teams will be listening to see what the Chicago Bulls are talking about. But aggressively shopping Lonzo Ball, I keep it real with you. I didn't expect that level of assertion to be made from the Chicago Bulls. I understood the Zach LaVine stuff. I understand the Nikola Vucevic stuff. I understand the Lonzo Ball stuff too, but just not as a way to say we're going to aggressively do it. Because to be honest with you, if I'm a team that's still looking at the situation, I'm still a bit wary of where Lonzo Ball is when it comes to his health. No, there has not been many things that came up when it talk about the lower extremities, but my man did just miss time with a wrist injury that could have potentially had him missing the entire season at one point when we was talking about it. So I look at that situation and I say, hey, it is what it is, but you just didn't expect it. Now, the question is will the Chicago Bulls be able to recoup any first round assets from an additional team? I feel like the Chicago Bulls' greatest chance to try to get a first round pick is when they traded Alex Caruso. I feel like that was the Bulls' greatest chance. That was your ultimate Swiss Army knife. People will kill to have a Alex Caruso on their team. Y'all blew it. Now you looking now you looking around the league and setting prices on different players, like saying Nikola Vucevic, you want a first round pick for him, but at the end of the day, we just saw Dennis Schroeder get moved for a bunch of seconds. And I will say that Nikola Vucevic this season has been a better than a Dennis Schroeder, but at the same time, when you're talking about what's owed to him over the next year, I believe it's $20 million, 34 years of age, not necessarily going to be a long-term solution for a team that's trying to acquire him. You don't really have much leverage if you're the Chicago Bulls, if we keeping it real. And then you talk about Zach LaVine, your situation is that is a lot of people don't want to touch that money. They know what Zach LaVine is, but they don't want to touch that money. So the Chicago Bulls are going to have to get creative. And there might be some guys that's going to be included in some deals that we don't necessarily want to see included in any deals. I would say the Chicago Bulls, I keep it real with you. There's redundancy in one of your position groups, and that's your forward spot. And I'm talking about Montes Buzelis, Julian Phillips, and Patrick Williams. Now, you're talking about who going to give the Chicago Bulls the best chance to win from that position. Obviously, you're going to go with Lil Boozy Vert. And then it comes down to a conversation about how Julian Phillips match up versus a Patrick Williams who seems like he's ahead of Patrick Williams right now. Like, let's keep it a buck. If I come to y'all and I be like, hey, the Chicago Bulls just traded Patrick Williams for a pack of Annihilators and a $5 gas card, you probably would just ask me like, bro, you couldn't get 10 on the gas card. But at the end of the day, you wouldn't be batting the eye. You wouldn't be batting the eye. Now, as we look at the landscape, most contracts, they became available for trade yesterday on the 15th. So it's going to be a lot of different topics and conversations that's going to be flooding in about the Chicago Bulls, because I believe that the Chicago Bulls have some things that people might consider good options on the squad. You're talking about Nikola Vucevic, all-star level big right now, having the best season in the last few years. Zach LaVine might not want to touch the money, but look at the efficiency and what he can potentially provide you for your squad. If you feel like he's better suited as a 2 or a 3, he'll fit right in perfectly. Now there's been rumors saying that the New Orleans Pelicans is trying to move on from guys like Zion and Brandon Ingram. About time, but guess what? If you're a Chicago Bulls fan and you want to trade Zach LaVine for Zion Williamson, you're smoking dope. Just my personal opinion. And I understand sometimes a guy just need a change of scenery, but if a motherfucker show you who they are, believe him. He can't stay healthy. I don't care how talented he is. I'm gonna stick with the guy that's not as that's more healthy, more healthier than a Zion Williamson. So there's gonna be a lot of different topics and conversations being made about who to bring over, who should we send off, things like that. I say one of the crucial things that we need to be looking out for if we keeping it a buck is the decision that's going to be made around Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu. Now, if you're looking at both of these guys contractually, you say the deal is you got both guys on the bargain. You live with that. But what if a team comes calling around and the package looks all right? Who will you deem untouchable? Is it Kobe or is it Ayo? You know what I do. Put it on wax. If it come down between Ayo and Kobe White and one of the guys got to get packed up and go, Kobe White, I fuck with you, dog. But you got to get up out of here. Those are the type of decisions that front offices have to come to terms with. Those difficult decisions. Those decisions to be like, hey, how can we fully embrace this youth movement? Because right now, yes, there's some embracing of the youth movement, but you still hitting potholes and speed hump on the damn journey. And right now, you just got too much going on right now. You just got a lot of things that's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like it's been exciting to watch. Don't get me wrong. It's been exciting to watch. But I would love to see the Chicago Bulls just say to hell with it and we gonna move on. You know what I'm saying? We just gonna say to hell with it and move on. Now, I was a bit selfish coming into the season. Like, I want to see it for about 25 games. Well, I got my 25 games. I believe guys have built up value. It's time to make some shit shake. That's just my personal opinion. Is it not what it should be? It's time to make something shake. For real. It ain't gonna always be about setting these high prices. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna look like these teams are gonna want to hold on to those first round picks. So the Chicago Bulls, you either gotta get creative in what you get back, whether that be some young, talented young player that you can get in and say, all right, we can work with him development. We see some glimpses. We like what we see. Let's play some into our player development program. Let's see if we can get the best out of this. Okay, you want to give us 2 seconds, two second round picks, 3 second round picks, cool, whatever. You can use those. And they saying this is a deep draft. You can still try to figure that shit out. Yeah, it's not. The Bulls are gonna have to play. They're gonna have to play the game and see what comes out of it. Because a lot of people ain't giving up on their young talent right now, especially with the state of the NBA and how it's looking. But y'all let me know. Do y'all think that Lonzo Ball can command a first round pick? Me personally, I don't necessarily think somebody's gonna give him a first round pick. But I could absolutely be wrong. I do know Dennis Schroeder was just moved for seconds. You know what I'm saying? And that's for a player who's been around. You know what I'm saying? Lonzo ain't been around. Yeah. Can Nikola Vucevic command the first? We know I don't necessarily think Zach LaVine is going to command the first round pick. Me personally. If they want to move him, I would say he presents the value to, you know what I'm saying? But I don't necessarily know if that's what it's going to take for the Bulls to get it done. Or if the other team to be like, all right, we'll give you a first. Especially with this draft right now, because you're going to have to strategically move. You don't want first in fucking 2027. When you got a young team that you trying to, yeah, you could have some of those if you piling them on, but you want something that's a little bit more recent or a little bit, some more that you could anticipate a little bit more of. But we'll see. Let me know down below, man. Definitely. It's crazy. A lot of things about to start kicking up with the Chicago Bulls. The Chicago Bears, they play tonight, y'all. Oh no. And while the Chicago Bears play tonight, the Chicago Bulls got a matchup versus the Toronto Raptors. For y'all that are wondering about the live call, right now it's going to be set up. Looking like Big Kev going to run the show for everybody. Hold it down for us and get everybody sitchy. While CDubb go ahead and handle things down on the football side. But whatever it is, we know that this Toronto Raptor team, they ass. That's just what it is. They trying to figure some things out over there for themselves. They moved a lot of pieces these last 2 years, and right now they're just at the bottom of the Eastern Conference, still trying to figure it out. And you give it, you show love to some of their players, but it is what it is. I say this is a game where the Chicago Bulls, they clearly outmatched this team. But for the Chicago Bulls, you don't know what you're going to get most of the time. Well, you're going to get a lot of threes, but how's the defensive side going to look? Because if you're about to run up and down with a young team like this, I'm just saying you can go ahead and cost yourself a loss. If you're the Chicago Bulls, you got to come in and handle business. That's just what it comes down to. You took care of business in your last game versus the Hornets. You know what I'm saying? Put belt to ass on that one. Now you got to come out here and put belt to ass for the Toronto Raptors. But again, are these guys on a tankathon or are these guys just chilling? What it is? Is we rocking with it? Because right now it seems like people still want to go out there and make the moves, and you can't be mad at the front office for absolutely trying to lean into the youth movement. And then that Raptors game, it's gonna be an interesting one. But yeah, give me the Chicago Bulls to win by 10. I just think that's what it's gonna come down to. These guys are coming off about 3 days of rest, 2 days of rest, so they should be fresh and be good to go. But that is it for me today, ladies and gentlemen. Thank y'all so much for tuning in to another episode. Make sure before you get up out of here, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell as well. I appreciate y'all. Make sure you always see red. You already know. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one for sure.
Cognac.